Okay, good evening, everyone. I think we are at 7 o'clock, so welcome to the, what's the date today?
March 18th.
March 18th, 2025 Board of Education meeting. We have all trustees present, and we have our 4 student reps present. So if you would please stand with me, and we will recite the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
So we are going to start tonight with recognition, and we have a lot of wonderful students to recognize. So I will turn it over to Ms. DiPilato to introduce our first item.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to recognize some of our students this evening. We're going to start our recognition with a recognition of all state band and orchestra students. But before we talk about the students we are going to recognize tonight, I would like to introduce some of our staff who have joined us, who support our students in their endeavors and in their instrumental performances throughout the years. We know that our students put in quite a bit of hard work. We also know that their parents put in quite a bit of hard work to support them getting there, and that our teachers are instrumental, no pun intended, in their success as well. So I'd like to recognize Mr. Joe Havrilla, Miss Wendy Stewart, Miss Jamie Millett, Miss Joanna Van Isenga, and Miss Rihanna Teslin. So they're here joining us tonight, just a few of our instrumental music teachers. If you please stand. I'd also like to just for a moment pay a little special attention to Mr. Joe Havrilla. Mr. Havrilla is the director of bands for Boland Park Middle School. And this year, he will be retiring after 31 successful years in the district. Mr. Havrilla also serves as the coordinator of instrumental music, and those titles don't even begin to lean into all that Joe brings to the job every day. Joe has been a confidant and a support in our pursuit of instrumental music here in the district. He is steadfast in his commitment to students and best practice, and we are forever grateful for the work that he's done, as he's been here since 1994, and I am proud to say that he served some of my very best friends here in Troy. So I just want to thank Joe for all of his service to the Troy School District, and I wish him very well in retirement. Thank you, Joe. Now on to our students. 28 Troy School District musicians were chosen to be members of the 2025 Michigan All-State Bands and Orchestras. These students were in Grand Rapids, Michigan from January 23rd to January 25th to rehearse and perform with young musicians from across the state as part of the annual Michigan Music Conference. Each fall, thousands of students work diligently to prepare for the audition with hopes of joining one of these elite ensembles. I'd first like to recognize all of our middle school students. So I would ask if you are a middle school student who is receiving recognition tonight to please come to the front of the room. I will read all of your names. We do have certificates for you, so if you would just come to the front, and then we will work to find the appropriate certificate, and then we'll take your picture as a group once we've finished. Annalise Benjalin, William Chen, Daniel Chu, Chloe Kim, Hiso Kim, Juha Kim, June Kim, Jonah Lee, Jeremy Liang, Leon Ma, Devishna Nimesh, Julia Zhao, Jerry Zhang, and Andy Doe.
Can we ask our students, after you've received your certificate, to come around the front? And that way we can allow parents to get a picture. And
So once you've got it, you come right up front here. That would be great.
yep, right up front. That's perfect, right there. That way we can get you parents to get a picture. Come on back. Come on up front. Yeah, just kind of line up along the table here. That'd be great. Slide over. Don't be shy. There you go. That way your parents can get a picture. Parents, by all means, please come on up and grab a picture. We're going to have our board members jump in that picture as well. You're in the picture regardless. Perfect.
Let's have a round of applause for our students. In addition to our middle school students, I'd like to also ask all of our high school students now, if you're here being recognized, to please come forward. Our high school musicians: Cameron Anderson, Ryan Deller, Atul Ganesh, Rayo Wan Kim, Yariel Kim, Sungwon Lee, Danielle Light, Jingyi Ma, Angela Park, Jisoo Park, Benjamin Shang, Landon Taylor, Yuchen Zhang, and Victor Zong.
We have to appropriately embarrass you. This is part of the deal. Sorry. It's part of the deal. And parents, by all means, feel free to come on forward. Don't be shy, parents. Come on forward.
Ready to move to our mission moment tonight?
Yes, please.
Wonderful. Tonight I have the opportunity to introduce and bring forward the principal of Larson Middle School, Mr. Brian Zwislak. As Mr. Zwislak makes his way up to the podium here, we are excited to recognize here in Troy a new reigning champion of the Oakland County Spelling Bee. I won't steal the thunder, but I will remind the board that for the last 2 years, we've had the great honor of having our Baker student, Arian, who held that title for 2 years. And the reins have been turned over, and we have a new student joining us tonight who has won that championship. So, Mr. Zwislak, I'll let you tell the board all about her.
Thanks, Ms. DiPilato. Good evening, members of Board of Education, Dr. Macheski, and members of the audience. I'm Brian Zwislak, proud principal of Larson Middle School, and it is my pleasure to be here tonight, joined by Sanvi Medavekar. Sanvi joined the Larson community in middle school after attending Warren Consolidated Schools, and she has quickly become a bright light in our school. She's a conscientious student who always works hard, balances time between focus and fun, and is deeply respected by her peers and teachers alike. She is kind, thoughtful, and always willing to advocate for herself and others. Qualities that exemplify our 4 R's at Larson of respect, responsibility, resilience, and relationships. Her love of learning is evident in everything she does. Sanvi speaks 4 languages: English, Hindi, Marathi, and Spanish, and has developed a particular passion for Spanish, enjoying the opportunity to explore both the language and its culture. She is also deeply involved in other extracurricular activities, serving as head editor of the Larson Free Press, mentoring younger students on her robotics team, the Rebel Droids, and recently qualified for HOSA Internationals in Tennessee this June after placing in the top 3 in the state in the healthcare preparation categories at the state event. Outside of school, she is equally busy. She runs track, teaches beginner and intermediate Taekwondo while pursuing her black belt, and is involved in swimming, dance, and the Young Eagles program. However, one of Sanvi's greatest passions is reading. She believes that her love of books has strengthened her vocabulary and helped her become a better speller, something that has certainly served her well, which is why we are here to recognize her. Sanvi's spelling journey began at 8 years old when she qualified for a state spelling bee competition. In 6th grade, she made it to the school-wide spelling bee, however, was not able to participate due to a family commitment. In 7th grade, she won this school-wide spelling bee and placed 6th at nationals. And this year, she won both the school-wide spelling bee, which I was able to see the final 4, and they were amazing to watch, and the Oakland County Regionals competition. Being crowned champion of the Oakland County Spelling Bee on March 1st punched her ticket to this May's Scripps National Spelling Bee in Washington, D.C. We're so proud of her. Sanvi's journey to this moment has been anything but easy. Her teachers describe her as dedicated, hardworking, and goal-oriented, and those traits have been on full display as she prepares for nationals. Spelling at this level, as she tells me, is more than memorization. It requires understanding word origins, language patterns, and definitions. The hours of preparation she has put in reflect her deep commitment to learning and excellence. Sanvi truly leads with passion and excitement, setting goals and knowing exactly how to achieve them. She's an impressive young woman who inspires those around her, and I have no doubt her journey is just beginning. It's my great honor to introduce this remarkable student, Sanvi Medavatkar. I don't know if you want to say anything.
You were to say something? You don't have to, but
I'm just really thankful to be here, and I'm really grateful to Mr. Z, Ms. Palmieri, my teachers, my friends, and my family for supporting me. And I'm really grateful for the opportunity to get to go to DC and compete in the National Spelling Bee.
wonderful.
Sanvi, we have a certificate for you. And Mom and Dad, by all means, please feel free to grab some pictures. There you go.
So Sanvi, we are all rooting for you when you go to Washington, D.C. I know you'll make us proud.
When is the actual competition? Do you know the date?
It's May 25th, and it's 6 days long, so it takes, yeah, so it's pretty long, it's like 6 days, so I'll be back like June 1st, about like May 30th, June 1st.
Wow. Yeah, just in time for the last day of school. We do want you to say happy summer to all your friends. Okay. So we have one more item of
Yes,
recognition.
Our student spotlight. Mr. Butcher, going to let you introduce these two young ladies.
Thank you, Dr. Macheski, and good evening, Board of Education. There is so much I want to tell you about our students tonight. But truthfully, there is still so much for me to learn myself. Because it was only 10 weeks ago in early January when I first met Vanessa Liu and Gabrielle Robinson. And in those 10 weeks, they have done some incredible podcast work. Their dedication is simply undeniable, and they have earned their place in Student Spotlight tonight in what's probably the quickest time frame that has led us to this moment. In their senior year at Athens, Gabby and Vanessa are squeezing in as much as they can. Vanessa Liu was part of our OAA White Division winning girls golf team. Oh. And Gabrielle Robinson is a multi-time state qualifying track star, now training for her final season. But beyond athletics, as impressive as it may be, both of them are very passionate about belonging in their school community. And that is the inspiration behind their podcast series, Life Unfiltered. Their show is all about personal growth, advice, and reflection with topics including motivation, balance, practicing gratitude, friendships, leadership, and more. I just mentioned 10 weeks. They have already recorded 10 episodes. They've had many student guests, including a certain someone over there. And they have also interviewed staff members, which hopefully soon we could even have Dr. Macheski join the show. This is your official invitation. Those who are interested can watch or listen to their podcast on YouTube and Spotify at life.unfilteredpod. And of course, we're going to share a couple minutes of their show here tonight so everyone can see. But one more thing before we roll the clip. I want to thank you both for taking the risk of trying something totally new to yourselves. You've learned so much so fast, and I love that it's for you and it's more than a podcast. You're showing us who you are and bringing other people with you. This podcast might be a short time in your life, but no matter where you go after this, I encourage you to always embrace the mess and live life unfiltered.
Hey guys, my name is Gabrielle Robinson.
And my name is Vanessa Liu, and we are your co-hosts for the Life Unfiltered podcast.
So today we have two special guests from Triathens High School, Diana DeLucio and
This week's episode is going to be about positivity, and we just think that you guys are such good candidates to talk about how to create a warm and welcoming atmosphere at school.
Yeah, we were talking about telling people that you were going to be on the podcast, and everyone's saying oh my gosh, we're so excited. You guys are the most positive people that we know. Yes.
So what are some ways you maintain a positive mindset even on challenging days at school?
I just remind myself of what there is to be grateful for. There's so many opportunities that we have, and I know I complain oh my gosh, I'm tired, I don't want to be at school today, or just little things, and I'm I have this opportunity to get an education and to be here and to be involved in these activities, and I just think that that's what really helps me get through the day.
I know I dealt with burnout at the end of my junior year of high school.
So I think the biggest thing is just trying to encourage yourself to believe that in the next couple months you're going to be on a path that's right for you, and that it might not be linear and it might not be what you think it is going to be now, but you're going to find your way.
What's something small that always makes you smile?
Seeing you guys light up when you're seen. I just feel so many times you're being, whooshed off, or, everyone's busy, and it makes a real impact. It really fills my bucket. I don't know if you guys in elementary school had the bucket
Yeah,
filler.
we did.
It fills my bucket big time to make you guys feel seen and heard. I want you guys to feel comfortable and safe. That's what makes me show up each day, do what I do.
In 12 opportunities, Gabby has run in 7 events. If you were to make it to 4 events in state finals, you would go 11 out of 16. That would have to make you the greatest runner in Athens.
Go you guys!
I didn't even know that.
Because I don't sleep at night.
I think I met you the second day. I don't know if you remember. I think I met you the second day.
After those photos, guys, my memory is just
No, that's fine. That's fine. And I'm pretty sure you're probably who's this random girl, but that's literally probably how I started. Just talking to people, forcing myself to get out of my comfort zone because I refused to just be with me all the time.
That's good. Yeah, that's good. good that like a lot of people can take that. We're your co-hosts,
Vanessa Liu
and Gabrielle Robinson.
And
Always remember to embrace the mess and live life unfiltered. Bye, guys.
Wow.
So at this time, we're going to open to any potential comments and questions from the board. But first, if you'd like to say a few words, it's all yours.
I just want to thank the Troy School District for giving us this opportunity to work with such a great producer, Thomas Butcher, and for allowing me to work with one of my closest friends, Gabby Robinson. So it's really been a privilege, and to stand in front of you guys and show you guys, you know, all of this work that we've done, it's really an honor and a privilege, and I'm very grateful to be here.
Yeah, me too. I'm very grateful to be here, and I think it's crazy because we like met Thomas Butcher like so late in our senior year, and we already have like so much stuff done, and we've made like a tremendous impact on the Troy Athens community. But I feel like in the Troy School District like community in general, we have so many students and listeners, and I'm just so happy that we can be a positive light on social media and just like let people feel heard and like, you know, supported.
Yeah, 100%. And also just reflecting the Troy School District in a bright way. With every single episode, we try to somehow, you know, how the Troy School District has allowed us to have this opportunity and all these successful things that you guys have facilitated for us. So yeah, we just love having this platform. I'm so grateful.
Yeah, me too.
Great, great. Wow. Questions from any board members?
I have. Did you have one? Actually, by this time of the year, in senior year or January when you started, people are like burned out, checked out, and they're ready to move on. So, but you have started something new at that time. How and what made you do that?
Okay, so I had the privilege, obviously, like you guys know, meeting Thomas Butcher and Vanessa. I met her earlier, but like meeting them through the podcast earlier this year through Student Equity Council, which is also something that we're both involved in. And I've always had a dream of bringing the community together, like being a positive light within the student body. And so we were actually at a Student Equity Council like function or something, and then we saw Thomas Butcher, and we were like, oh, well, this is perfect. And I was talking about my dream, and then Nessa was there, so I was like, why don't we just do a podcast together? And then since then, we just kicked off and we started launching so many episodes.
Yeah.
Cool. Great. Excellent. Go ahead, Mina.
So how do you guys, this is all new to you, and so, you know, maybe this isn't wasn't a part of your, you know, career or college goals, but how do you guys, you know, see this type of work going forward for you?
So we both do want to go into the medical field, so podcasting isn't going to be a direct correlation to our future careers, but we do plan to meet up in the future to just record podcast episodes together. We don't plan to make it consistent because we're going to different places for college, but just having this friendship and having a podcast together, it's such a privilege, and we do want to continue doing what we're doing, and it's something we truly love too. Like what you were saying with senior year and burnout, a lot of kids don't really want to do anything, but for us, this is kind of a way to like have fun, enjoy what we have left of, you know, this last year we have.
Cool. Great. Really good. What's the biggest lesson that you've learned in, you know, doing this podcast, excuse me, and really, you know, working to spread positivity amongst your school community?
I think for the most part, it's like I said, bringing the community together. A lot of high schoolers, we experience like the same things, like burnout, stress, a lot of the things that our guests have talked about. So just like having a platform where we can like hear students talk about things, hear faculty, it just makes, I know it makes me happy, and it makes me feel more like of a sense of belonging within the district, knowing there's other students that feel similar to me.
Mm-hmm. Great, great. So we have a certificate for you both. Well, that was great recognition. We are going to continue on. If any of you that were here just for the recognition portion, feel like you want to slip out, please feel free to do so. Otherwise, you're more than welcome to continue to stay for the rest of our agenda. So we're going to move right on. Any additions or deletions, Dr.
There are
Macheski?
none this evening.
Okay, public communication.
We have one public communication on non-agenda
Non-agenda items? Okay, then we'll hold that to the end. So our next item of business is approval of the consent agenda. Tonight's consent agenda consists of minutes of the February 11th, 2025 Board of Education workshop, minutes of the February 25th, 2025 Board of Education meeting, the January 2025 Treasurer's Report, Budget Amendment Number 2, and a notice to reschedule the April 15th, 2025 Board of Education meeting to April 22nd, 2025. May I have a resolution, please? Mr. Hopp?
Be it therefore resolved that the Troy Board of Education takes action to approve items A, B, C, D, and E on the consent agenda.
Support.
We have a resolution by Mr. Hopp, supported by Ms. Elish. Any comments on that? Okay, all those in favor of the resolution, please say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Opposed, say no. Okay, thank you. Motion carries. Any personnel tonight, Dr.
There's none
Macheski?
this evening.
Any curriculum?
None as well.
Okay, so we'll call Mr. Trudell up for business.
Good evening, Board of Education. So on the agenda tonight for your consideration are 3 different business items. So we'll start with the first item. This project relates to a bid pack that was put out and received with good bid coverage. This relates to Smith's new middle school going up and the site work and signage components of those, as well as the demolition of a few houses as part of this project as well. So the site work, this was a rebid. We had to rebid this project due to some city ordinances that we had to tweak some of the design work, so they rebid it accordingly. So this will kind of go through all the parking lots, the drives, the grading in those parking lots, and then kind of preparing that roadway off of Livernois to get into the new Smith complex there. So the signage also relates to all interior, exterior wayfinding signage as well. And then in terms of the demo, there are 2 homes that the district owns off of Livernois. That's where the new light is going to be installed. That light component is the last bid pack to be issued, but they're still in the design phase of that. So for now, we're going to prepare the space over summer to get those homes down. That way we can create that temporary roadway for some construction workers to go through off of Livernois, just to avoid any more disturbances in the neighborhood. So.
Okay, thank you. We're being asked to consider a resolution for site work and signage in conjunction with the construction at Smith Middle School. May I have a resolution, please? Dr. Melton?
Be it therefore resolved that the bid for site work and signage be awarded as follows, and that this be approved as an expenditure from the capital funds project. Simon Construction Services for site work in the amount of $3,573,000. Curb Appeal Concepts Incorporated for signage in the amount of $119,793,000. A contingency of 8%, which would be $295,423, for a total of $3,988,216.
Support.
We have a resolution by Dr. Melton, supported by Mr. Hopp. Any discussion or comment on this resolution? Ms. Elish?
Just for the public's sake, so you mentioned that part of the site work involves a drive off of Livernois, and that's something that the city is requiring of us.
Yeah, so in order to establish that new traffic signal there, typically you like to have 2 points of egress on a building. So we're going to add that entranceway off of Livernois directly north of Martell Elementary into that Smith complex. So they're finalizing the design phase right now of the traffic light. There's some considerations we have to look into for there's a drainage ditch on the side. So, but for now we can at least get a temporary roadway through that path, and then it'll be fully graded and ready to go. Yep.
Okay, anything else?
One more comment. So this amount, majority of it had to do with the site work like we've talked about at the workshop. more of the grading and getting them up to grade for getting.
Yeah, within the site work component, there are demolition costs. It's about 15 grand a home to demo out, but there's a process that they have to do in order to demo. They can't just come in and knock it down, so. Yeah.
Great. Okay. Let's vote. All those in favor of the resolution, please say yes.
Yes.
Opposed, say no. Thank you. Motion carries. We'll move on to painting.
Thank you. Next item for consideration is for interior painting services. So this is the time of year where our operations department goes through and they kind of select a few different schools to work on just upkeeping with the painting and the appearance and the interior of the building. So this pack specifically relates to Schroeder Elementary, which will have some hallways and corridors addressed this summer. And then Waddles will have the gym and cafeteria. And then door frames, doors, and railings at the Troy High Auditorium that were a part of this project. So the low bid came in at $43,160. We're requesting for an amount of $50,000 to be approved. That'll just give a little bit of flexibility as the painters are there and staff are in the building and they may have a specific area that they want tweaked. So we just want a little flexibility with that.
Great, thank you. So we're being asked to consider a resolution for interior painting services. May I have a resolution, please? Ms. Potts?
Be it therefore resolved that the bid for interior painting services be awarded to RNC Paint Systems in the amount of $50,000, and that this amount be approved as an expenditure of the general operating fund.
Support.
We have a resolution by Ms. Potts, supported by Ms. Sané. Any questions or discussion on this item? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor of the resolution, please say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Opposed, say no. Okay, motion carries. And our last item?
Final item for your consideration tonight is relating to the phase 2 of our furniture purchasing. This goes in line with the playground phase 2 that was approved by the board back in January. So this will impact Barnard, Bemis, Hill, Martell, and Morse Elementary, and then, or Troy Union as well, and then select areas of Troy High School will get new furniture. So the recommended amount was not to exceed budgeted amount in the bond at $5.2 million. The total thus far, as we've gone through and totaled everything up per the design, is just over $4.6 million. So we're going to leave it at the not to exceed amount, but we should be well below that. And then that'll give a little bit of a wiggle room there. But any savings, which we generally strive for, will just be shifted to future projects in the bond.
Great. Okay. Thank you. We're being asked to consider a resolution to continue our furniture purchases. May I have a motion, please? Ms. Zendler?
Be it therefore resolved that the furniture purchase for Barnard, Bemis, Hill, Martell, Morse, Troy Union, and select areas at Troy High School for an amount not to exceed $5,286,379 through pre-existing bid contracts or consortiums as outlined in the memo from TMP dated February 28, 2025, be approved as an expenditure of the 2023 bond fund.
Support.
We have a resolution by Ms. Zendler, supported by Ms. Elish. Any discussion on this item? Go ahead.
Just to clarify, you mentioned the bid was around 4.3 million, but you're asking not to exceed 5.2. Is that normal to do just for the general public, and what happens in that situation?
So when the bond budgets were created, there was an amount established. So in this case, for these buildings, for these specific projects, it came in, the budget recommendation was 5.2 million. The market for furniture has kind of come down a little bit from where it was a few years ago, so the pricing is actually less than what we had budgeted for. So it's about 4.65 million is the total that will be spent on the current design. But the difference, while we're not going to use it, it gives a little bit of flexibility to each building to say, hey, if we need this spot or we might have missed a piece here, it gives you a little bit of wiggle room there.
I see.
But ultimately, the goal will be that $600,000 savings is just shifted over to future projects.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
Great. Okay, let's vote. All those in favor of the resolution, please say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Opposed, say no. Okay, thank you. Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Trudell. So we are now going to move on to our next item of business, which is public communication on non-agenda items. I would like to remind our speaker tonight to please, we respect your First Amendment rights, but to please consider the requirements on the back of the goldenrod sheet and keep your comments within those parameters. So with that, I'm going to call up Mr. Apahedian to speak. And of course, you'll have 3 minutes, and you can watch the clock here.
Good evening, Ollie, Troy parent, Troy resident. February 28, 2025 was the deadline that the federal government gave all public school districts, including Troy schools, to remove DEI programs in critical race theory from its curriculum or lose federal funding. Obviously, Troy schools chose to ignore that directive. Troy schools administrators and the Board of Education did not comply, and they did nothing to comply. Troy schools continues to push the racist and Marxist propaganda of DEI into our classrooms. Enrollment is down in the district, and also a very likely budget deficit is on the horizon for the next school year. Yet the district is sending the message that they would rather lose $4.5 million per year in federal funding than eliminate DEI from our district. Troy Schools is so hell-bent on pushing DEI that this year it added a brand new class in our middle schools, and it made it mandatory. This class is designed to indoctrinate the minds of our middle schoolers about the oppressed and the oppressor mentality. Not only is TSD aggressively pushing the DEI agenda, but it's also quietly allowing boys to use girls' restrooms and girls to use boys' restrooms. Multiple students have witnessed this at one of our middle schools. I contacted the principal at the school and asked him to explain why this is happening under his supervision. I asked him to investigate if students are being allowed to use whatever restroom they want. His only response was that he's not aware of what is happening. How is it possible that students know what's happening in their school building, but administrators don't? That's unacceptable. Whatever happened to making our children's safety a priority? Allowing boys and girls' bathrooms is doing exactly the opposite. If my daughter ever comes home and tells me that a guy walked into her bathroom, the leadership of this district will be held accountable, and this includes all of you on this board. For all the parents who want to report our district to the federal government for continuing to waste our tax dollars on DEI propaganda, you can file a complaint at enddei.ed.gov. In my opinion, our district doesn't deserve a single penny of our tax dollars because it has abandoned the noble mission of educating our children and has become an indoctrination institution that uses DEI to poison the minds of our next generation. The fact that this district has refused to comply with the federal mandate to end DEI proves that every parent in this district would rather push a destructive agenda rather than do what's best in the interest of every student.
Thank you. Oh, got it? Okay. Okay, we are going to move on to other. So we are going to start with the reports from our students. And so, Diana, would you like to start?
Yeah, thank you.
First of all, you look great on the podcast. It'd be very great to hear that positivity.
Thank you. Good evening, members of the board, staff, students, and families. Thank you for the opportunity to share some of the recent updates from Athens High School community. First, we are excited to celebrate the success of our athletics teams. Our boys swimming and diving team won the OAA Blue League Championship. Additionally, our boys basketball team received the MHSAA District Championship, which was a fantastic achievement for our athletes and our coaching staff. In powerlifting, our girls team secured their third consecutive state championship, while our boys powerlifting team finished by placing 4th in the state. Our boys bowling team also had a strong finish, placing 14th at the MHSAA state meet. As we transition into spring sports, our first home event is tomorrow at 7 p.m. with our girls soccer team. Additionally, today marks the first day of boys volleyball tryouts as we introduce boys volleyball as a club sport at Athens. Moving on to academic and extracurricular achievements, our Science Olympiad team had a fantastic performance, finishing second at regionals. In DECA, our students earned 11 medals at their state finals, with 2 students qualifying as state champions who will advance in the international final in Orlando, Florida next month. Our Athens forensic team placed first at the Avondale Ninjitationals. Beyond competitions, we've been focused on keeping our families engaged. On March 5th, we held a 10th grade parent night as part of Athens University, helping families navigate academic planning and student success. Looking ahead, we are hosting Curriculum Night tomorrow, March 19th at 7 p.m. This event will provide families with valuable information about course offerings and programs at Athens. And that concludes the latest updates from Athens High School. Thank you, and go Hawks.
Great, thank you. You want to go next, Adam?
Sure, happily. Good evening, members of the board and of the community. Thank you for the opportunity to update the community on Troy High School happenings in the recent month. Spring sports are in full swing at Troy High School, and our Colts are preparing to take on the fiercest competition in lacrosse, water polo, baseball, softball, golf, track and field, tennis, and girls soccer. We look forward to a season full of wins across all teams and wish our student athletes good luck this season. Moving into some other organizations at Troy High School, DECA this past weekend, 135 members of Troy High DECA competed for glass in Detroit at the Huntington Center in a wide array of events ranging from hospitality and tourism to marketing management. Led by Mrs. Elena Wahlberg, Troy High will be sending roughly 45 competitors to Orlando, Florida to compete against business leaders across the globe. The Troy Theater Ensemble performed their spring play, A Midsummer Night's Dream, this past weekend as well. This unique take on the Shakespearean classic was incredible, and we are very proud of all of the hard work that went into this production. A week prior, Troy High Model UN took a bite out of the Big Apple, with 15 students attending the Model UN International Conference, competed with students from over 250 schools, and received awards like Best Delegate and Award of Excellence for their hard work. Last but not least, congratulations to the team of 5 members from the Troy High Math Club for being named Grand Champion at the Flint Math Field Day. Looking into the future, we have some upcoming events. We are actually in full swing with our Spring Break Spirit Week. To send our students off into their week-long spring vacation, we are hosting a Spring Break Spirit Week where our Colts can show just how ready they are for break. Tomorrow is Destination Day, so Colts, if you're out there listening, let's see your vacation shirts tomorrow. Next up is Senior Citizens Prom on April 23rd. We'll be hosting a prom-like dance for senior citizens in the community. Dinner, music, and dancing will be provided. If you are interested in this event, please reach out to Troy High Student Government or myself. And last but not least, go Colts.
Great, thank you, Adam. Let's go over to the other side. Christian, do you want to tell us what's going on in TCCHS?
Sure. This month at TCC, starting from the most important, we got 50 new MacBook Airs via grant money to help kids do their work better and hopefully reduce phone use and stuff like that. Woodshop has gotten a grant for new materials. The careers class has had their second wave of interviews, this time with real employers, and a student even got hired from that. There was a cabinet shop field trip with select students, which was intended to teach students skilled trades and have them form some connections outside of just school-based like skills, I guess. Music club got new instruments, 2 electric guitars and 2 electric basses. The Literary Journal, which is a club in progress of sorts, is a student and a teacher, Mr. Flesso, are creating a collection of poetry, prose, and art to share and publish to the world. And in Men of Today, life skills are being taught, such as drywall repair, how to change a diaper, and how to cut an onion properly.
Skills.
Yeah. Great. Important skills. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Christian. And then finally, Narada, you want to tell us what's happening at IA East?
I would love to. Good evening, everyone. I hope you are all having a terrific Tuesday. It has been an awesome month at IA East with meaningful events and impactful extracurricular activities. To start off the month, our Red Cross Club hosted a blood drive that almost 60 students and teachers participated in. Every 2 seconds, someone in the U.S. needs blood, and we are extremely proud of our students for taking action to address this critical need. Another big event we hosted was our second annual Shamrock Shakedown, a Special Olympics basketball tournament we spearhead with the Troy Center for Transition. Our sophomores took their shot at organizing this event through their Adventure Challenge class, working hard to slam dunk the decorations by filling the gymnasium with personalized banners and jerseys for each team. They also took on the roles of announcers, cheerleaders, and halftime coordinators to make the tournament as memorable as possible. Every year, I am brought to tears by the uplifting atmosphere our IA students create. The crowd truly makes every shot feel like it is straight out of the NBA Finals. I cannot wait to see where the event will go from here. In club news, last week, our forensics team spoke volumes at their final invitational of the season. Since December, our students have been working hard to perfect their delivery and ensure that every speech is mic drop worthy. We are eager to hear them make their voices heard at the upcoming regional and state competitions. This past weekend, our Model UN team attended the Michigan State University Model UN Conference. Some of our students stepped inside the shoes of world leaders to preserve the human rights of every child, while others channeled their inner rock stars to launch music television on the MTV Board of Directors. We can't debate the passion that our students put into crafting policies that could transform global affairs and the soundtrack of history. Lastly, this week is Powder Puff Volleyball Spirit Week, featuring Jersey Day and Pajama Day, which most of our students practice every day. The highly anticipated matchup between the junior and senior boys will happen this Thursday. And if you were unable to attend, I can serve up the result early. The seniors will spike their way to victory. And that is all I have with current news from IA East. Thank
Great.
you.
Thank you. Well, as you can tell from our student reports, our high schools are in full swing. You guys will really deserve a break next week. Okay, we're going to do roundtable for the board. Stephanie, anything?
Yep. I just, in terms of terrific Tuesday shout-outs, I'm going to have you start writing my I'd like to thank the schools that have invited us to come and read for March's Reading Month. It's been absolutely fantastic to get into classrooms and see our amazing kids eager about reading every single day. And one last shout-out to our teachers, who I know are running hard to the end of this week when spring break will start, where they'll get to take a little breather before the last run to the end of the school year. So a big thank you to all of our staff who worked hard last week at parent-teacher conferences, making sure that our parents and community know exactly how their kids are doing and getting ready to rest up before the end of the year.
Great, thank you. Alicia?
Hi. I was kind of disappointed that everyone who was here from band left. But shout out to all the band members. I am actually missing my son's middle school band concert tonight. But it's very funny to me and entertaining to see kids go from 5th grade, where they're squeaking their way through those instruments, to 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, and high school. It's almost like being in front of, the downtown or whatever, Carnegie Hall. I think the teachers do such a phenomenal job teaching these kids. I don't know. I know I took the flute. I think I studied the flute, and I was horrible. So, shout out to everybody in band and music. I was able to also go to Aaliyah, my daughter's powerlifting banquet at Athens. She placed 4th in the state for her weight division. I was so excited for her. Go Hawks. Very, very happy for them. Also looking forward to the next couple of AARC meetings. Looking forward to reading all the feedback from parents in the community. And happy spring break for everybody. I know everyone's looking forward to some time off. And one last thing, I know the Troy School District is always going to be a district that supports all students and all teachers, regardless of, wherever we are, whoever we worship, whoever we love. And I, for one, will not stand for anyone trashing our district or saying anything disparaging, not against our students or our teachers ever. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Audra?
Well, I just wanted to kind of piggyback on one of our resolutions from last month. Last month, our board passed a resolution urging Congress to fully fund IDEA, fulfilling the promise that was made over 50 years ago, or actually 50 years ago, exactly, to provide a certain level of funding for states for special education students. And I wanted to thank the members of our group here that traveled to DC to advocate on behalf of kids for IDEA and getting that fully funded. I wasn't able to make that trip, but I'm busy here at home. I'm a member of MyPAC, which stands for Michigan Parent, Attorney, and Advocate Coalition. In the month of March, we're kicking off our Michigan Special Education Finance Reform Blueprint. So with this, we are working on getting input from groups and individuals across the state with the goal of getting input on special education finance reform. With that looking like providing school districts with the funding that they need for special education, but also funding education in special education in an equitable manner. Many people don't realize that, and this is a great example of when we talk about equity in schools, this is what equity is about. We get a certain number of dollars from the state of Michigan for every single student, but every single student doesn't cost the same to educate. We know that some of our special needs kids are much more expensive, they have much greater needs, but yet they're funded at the same level. So what we're trying to do is get equity for all of our kids so that they all have what they need. And so that's the challenge. That's what this group is working for. I'm super happy to be a part of that group, but I'm also really proud that my colleagues are joining us on that journey and advocating for IDEA fully funding, and that Dr. Macheski is leading that as well, so thank you.
Great, thank you. Matt?
I don't have much. I just want to say happy March is Reading Month. I was able to go to a couple schools, and the questions that the kids ask you at the end is just the cutest thing. I was asked if I actually wrote the book that I was reading. It was just amazing. So I just wanted to say that I love that we do that as a district. Hopefully all the parents can go out and, if not this year, next year, be able to go and read to their classrooms. And I wish everybody a very relaxing and safe spring break.
Great. Amina?
Nothing for tonight.
Patel?
Hi, pretty much all my colleagues have covered everything I wanted to say. The only thing I want to add is for all the people that celebrate Holi, we've celebrated Holi last weekend. It was a day off for the students, but our teachers were busily doing professional development. Thank you so much for them. And right after their parent-teacher conferences, thanks a lot, and thanks for the district for putting together that calendar for that to happen. Happy Holi to all, and happy spring break to everybody. You all deserve a break.
Great. Dr. Macheski.
Thank you. Spring is a time for a number of celebrations. Mrs. DiPilato mentioned one this evening, and that is retirement of Mr. Havrilla. We have the distinct privilege as a board and as an administrative team and as a community to celebrate our retirees later this spring. Hope you'll all join us in celebrating what will likely be a fair number of retirees as we move into the spring. So it's a highlight of the work that we get to do to celebrate those that have given so much of their life and to this community and to the thousands and thousands of students that they've served. So we look forward to that. Ms. Potts mentioned the AARC. We have 2 meetings left. We will meet this Thursday at Larson. That'd be the 20th, March 20th at 5:30 at Larson. We did add an additional meeting for April 8th, 5:30 again at Larson. Knowing that the meeting this Thursday is right before spring break, we wanted to make sure we didn't miss anyone. So anyone that has an interest to get to one of those, the 8th of April would be the last opportunity. Although there will be additional opportunity for anyone in the community to provide input. That will be in the form of a survey that will go out. The information that we're gathering from these AARC meetings, and thank you to all of our board members that have been to multiple meetings thus far, is that information will be used, that we're gathering, will be used to inform the survey that we're putting together, that the entire community will have an opportunity to weigh in on. So you can look for that later, that survey later in April for those that may not be attending those meetings. We will be starting our spring updates for all staff across the district, as well as our PTO, PTA groups, our booster groups. Those will start in mid-April, so I look forward to getting out and visiting with all of our community in that way. I want to shout out to Nareda and the Shamrock Shakedown. I had an opportunity, many of us had an opportunity to attend that. Really a fabulous event where students, especially students from here in Troy, as well as Bloomfield Hills and Avondale had an opportunity to come and really be celebrated by the students at IA in the gymnasium there. It is truly special. It's the second time I've had a chance to see it. It's a great event. So thank you to the students at IA and Mr. C for putting that on. Lastly, just a huge thanks to our teaching and learning team, as well as our instructional leadership team across the school district, who put together a terrific day of learning on Friday of last week, as was mentioned, Ms. Annie. The staff was involved, all of our staff, including our secretarial staff, our support staff, were involved in professional learning all day on Friday. I had a chance to hit a number of those, and we got some really terrific feedback from the opportunities that were provided to staff that day. So although a day off for students, our staff were in and working diligently, really focused on improving their practice as professionals across our school districts. I want to thank them for their continued dedication with respect to that. And thanks to our teaching and learning team for putting, and our instructional leadership team for putting all of that together. A tremendous amount of work goes into providing sessions for over 850 teaching staff, as well as almost 80 secretarial staff, over 100 paraprofessionals, a tremendous amount that goes into that. And so, again, we thank them, and I agree. Spring break comes at a great time. Wishing everyone a great spring break, safe travels, and we'll see everyone back on Tuesday, April 1st.
Right, great. So I only have one thing. I thought you were going to bring this up, but I did want to alert the community, because we will have a meeting before our next board meeting. But members of the board are going to be doing open community forums for any members of the community who would like to come and talk. So we're going to divide and conquer. There'll be 2 or 3 board members at each of these sessions. The first one is April 9th. 8 a.m. 8 a.m. We're going to do different times, and I don't know that we have a location, but do we? Central office, okay. And then the next one is May 11th? May 11th or something. So there'll be 2 more. They'll go out in a district communication. So we'll do 2 this year, and then, the plan is to do them about every other month or so next year. So it's just another opportunity for people to be able to do some small group conversation with the board. So with that, if there is no further business, we are going to adjourn tonight. Again, happy spring break, everyone. And our next meeting, as Dr. Macheski said, is a workshop on Tuesday, April 1st, which will take place over at the administration building starting at 6 o'clock. Thank you all, and good night.
Thank you.
Stay going.